Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Rhonda Swan Show. Well, this series is like our fireside series. I've been traveling around the USA for the last couple months, and I have been able to meet some of the most unbelievable people. And today's guest is really going to be magical. In fact, his name is Chris Gronkowski. Now, if you're a football fan, you might know this name and this family pretty well. In fact, he went into the NFL undrafted as a free agent in 2010 and went on to start 3 different NFL teams, including the Dallas Cowboys, Indianapolis Colts, and the Denver Broncos. And I know he had a little cameo with the San Diego Chargers, which is one of my hometowns. But after his NFL career, he and his wife, Brittany, they created their own top online store, and it did unbelievable. And then one day, Chris was at the gym, and he felt a need that he had his shaker with his protein cup and it wasn't getting completely shaken up. And he's like, I have an idea. I want to create something that can solve this problem. So when he noticed that there was nothing on the market that actually even fit his needs, he set out to create his own. And he built his own and invented the ice shaker. In fact, the ice shaker actually launched in December 2016, and he was able to get onto Shark Tank and get pitched to pitch the Sharks with Mark Cuban and Alex Rodriguez. And guess what? He landed a deal with the Sharks. So now we've got Chris Gronkowski on the show. Chris, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you here. How you doing?
I'm good. It looks a little warmer by that fireplace than it is here in Dallas, though. So I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, it's pretty warm. Actually, I start sweating by the time we're done with this. We're gonna, I might have to get a fan or open the doors. Chris, I love what you do. Obviously, I'm a big fan of your family and everything that you guys are all about. But I have to ask you before we actually get into this, what did you think about the Super Bowl? What did you think about
That was awesome. So it was kind of crazy though. So we were working with Groupon, and they asked if they can use my brother's house for the Super Bowl party. So
as you do.
I thought for sure he was going to say no. He ended up doing it, agreeing to it. 15 contestants ended up winning and coming to the house for the party. So it was pretty crazy. It was one of the craziest Super Bowls I've been in attendance for, I guess, and it was at a house. So that was pretty cool. But game was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I thought it was going to be a blowout. Ended up being a great game. And so pretty impressive what really both teams did this year. So it was a great NFL season, really. At the end of the day.
It was. I was super pumped because, normally sometimes in the Super Bowls, there's just blowouts. You're like, oh, but it was like constantly on your edge. So we watched it here at a little house party, probably not as epic as, as your Super Bowl. It's fine. I had some extra wines and, we made the best of it, but we did dance like crazy at the halftime show. I'm 49. So like Dr. Dre and Snoop, like they're my people.
That was good. I mean, they were saying it too. Like they've been waiting for that moment, and it definitely was needed. That was awesome.
It was. I think it was like the most watched halftime show in, so many years. So anyways, all right. I know you like talk about football all the time, but I was like super pumped because I used to live in San Diego for 13 years. So we're big Charger fans as well.
Okay.
The Chargers didn't show up this year, but at any rate, let's talk about what you've been up to though. I mean, I love the story. I was kind of going through your stuff and I love what you've done with Ice Shaker, and when I was reading about, where this came from, like, tell us about that. Like, how did that really come about? Because I mean, some people are like, oh yeah, we need a good ice shaker, but what makes it so unique? And how did you say I'm going in and diving into it?
Yeah. So it started here in Texas. It was hot out. I was done playing in the NFL. I was going to the gym all the time and grabbed my plastic shaker bottle, went to the gym. By the time I got there, it was actually making a mess of my clothes. And that's like the only time I really dress up is for the gym. Right. So I'm like, come on, I can't have this happening. Making a bunch of just sweat rings on the floor of the gym. And I was like, this is just stupid. There's got to be something out there that's better that will keep my drink cold. Took a sip of it. It smelled awful. I'm like, this sucks. So went home that day, figured I'd just find something online and snag it. But at that time, there's just nothing that was insulated that would keep your drink cold and also have the ability to actually blend. There's a lot of different cups on the market. They usually had like this little small spout. You had to take like a funnel and
Yeah,
like track it in
exactly.
there and then use like a certain brush to clean it. And
Or clumps up around the edges. You never really get it to mix.
exactly, there's nothing to break up the powder. So went home that day like, this is the simplest idea that no one's done yet. Saw an opportunity there and just went for it. It sounded super easy, right? And I was super excited about it. I was really wanted to get back into the fitness industry, kind of what I grew up doing. And this was my way back in. So super passionate about it. Really had no game plan at all. Just started doing it and realized pretty quickly that it was going to be a lot harder than you think it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys made, obviously, what made it the uniqueness about the brand? Because I run a branding PR firm. So I'm always about like, what were your thought processes on how to make it so unique, right, in the marketplace?
Yeah, for sure. So at that time, there was nothing out there that was insulated that can shake, and mix different powders. So that was from day one. And that was pretty much it at first that separated it. After that, what really separated it was the story of getting on Shark Tank, getting deals from all 5 sharks, the family brand behind it as well, the NFL, all that helped as well. And then from there, we also then started creating different patented designs as well. So now, we do have something that's super unique. When we first entered the space, it was all about blender bottle. They had the little ball. The good and bad thing about it was that ball is patented. So we could not use the ball. We had to find a way around it.
A little wiry ball, that one?
Yep. So any type of spring or I guess wire whisk object that you put inside of a shaker cup was patented. It was actually a utility patent on it. I think it just expired actually in 2021. But the good thing was that when you put a metal ball inside of a metal cup, it's super annoying. And we found out pretty quickly that people weren't huge fans of it. So we had to find a way around it, and we did, and we created a patented twist and agitator. We found out really quickly that it also doubles up more as a strainer, and that when you put a bunch of ice inside of a metal cup that's insulated, it floats to the top and it clogs the spout. So with this agitator, it actually stopped that from happening. People started using it to pour shots. People were fruit infusing their drinks with it. It kind of just became like this multi-purpose piece that we had patented. So that really became a separator for us as well. And then just really everything that has to do with the cup is, I built for myself to be the ultimate cup for all day use. So we have different things coming in now. We have different lids. We have an actual fruit infuser you could twist in. So we just continue to make it as unique as possible. And then the last piece for us that really separated us, doing customization with my wife. So for 5 years, had Etsy shop, did really well. And we took all that, what we learned there, and we put into Ice Shaker. So we're able to customize bottles, each and every bottle actually within 3 to 5 business days. And that really separates us because people love having their logo or their name on their products.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And, when you were, let's talk about the Sharks. I mean, you pitched the Sharks. How is that, first off, that experience to even step into the plate, right? I mean, I know you've done some pretty big stuff, but now you've got to come in, you've got to take this idea, and now you're pitching to ask these guys to invest. How was that experience for you?
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what stage you played on. Like, you could play in an NFL game, that's cool, but it's not the same as preparing for a pitch in front of 5 people that are really well known and pretty intimidating. So, and
the lights are literally just on you,
all on you, and they make you freeze for about 2 minutes before you start, just to get the juice. Now, really, just to get different angles, but that's what really gets the juices flowing. That makes you a little bit nervous because you're just kind of chilling, waiting for the moment to happen. But no, it was awesome. I was super prepared. I was super confident. I was super passionate about the product as well. So walking out there and being prepared made me comfortable, gave me the confidence I needed. I watched so many episodes that by the time I walked out there, I felt like I was talking to my friends. I was like, I know everything about these 5 people because I've watched 9 seasons now with them. So definitely a huge advantage that I wasn't one of the first seasons. I was ended up being season 9. I got to watch so many, and I knew exactly what was coming. I was waiting for the Mr. Wonderful Hey, Chris, what's stopping me from making the Mr. Wonderful bottle? And I was just dying for him to ask the question, and he never did.
Did you ever make him one?
I did not, because he did not invest. He was the first offer, which was definitely a shock. I was waiting for him to wait till the end, and always, he throws that garbage offer at the end. He came in first, so it wasn't a great offer in the first place, though. But he did make the first offer, which was pretty cool.
So how do you really prepare for it? Because I have an interview with Kevin Harrington. It was super cool because have you met Kevin?
Yeah, he's one of the originals. Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. So he's like, okay, we're going to do a show together, and I'm going to allow, some of the entrepreneurs, because I have a massive entrepreneur following, and, because we always talk about the brands and the story behind the brands, right? So like we can get the realness of what it takes to actually be this entrepreneur. And he's like, okay, we're going to let them ask me one hot seat question. I was like, yeah, that's a really cool idea. So how would you say then, like, how did you actually prepare? Like, is there a manual that says this is how you prepare for Shark Tank? Like, how did you really prepare for it? Do they help you?
They definitely want it to be a good show. So they are gonna tell you what they want to see out of you, and they want to make sure you're prepared as well. So the producers aren't going to let you just walk on there, looking like a fool for the most part.
Yeah, right.
Enough people already do that on their own, even after preparing. So that definitely plays into the show, but they don't want every single pitch to end up like that. And a lot of people just freeze in the moment, even after being super prepared. So they get enough of that content that they actually want you to go out there and have a good show. So they definitely help, due diligence, all that. And then just really watching previous shows was my main thing that helped me prepare. I wrote down every question they ever asked, and I had an answer already prepared for it.
Yeah, my daughter's 14, and she started her first company when she was 11. She's a fashion designer. So we have watched every single show. She was pitched actually by a underground shark, 30 million they offered her, and she actually turned them down as an 11-year-old. She's like, you're compromising my values. I'm a sustainable fashion designer. I was like, and we're like, are you sure? Are you sure? We might need to go back onto the show and actually do it properly so they really properly invest. But I love it. I think it's a really killer concept. And by you going inside, obviously you got the deal with Cuban and with Rodriguez, right? With Alex.
With Alex.
Yeah. How was that? What did you get from that? Like, how did that experience work with those guys?
Yeah. So, it's the real deal. It's the real money.
You're still working with them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm still working with Mark. My brother, when he retired from the NFL, ended up buying Alex out. He wanted to get in the business world. He definitely helped me start it. He was on the show as well, and was like, hey, what do I got to do to come in? So he gave Alex a pretty cool offer. They did a couple exchanges with a couple other businesses as well. And he was able to get that 7.5%. So Mark's still a part of it. Rob's still a part of it. But working with them, it's definitely the real thing. The real money comes in. It's wired in. It's not just for show. They're drilling you with questions on the show that they don't show you. I was out there for probably a solid hour of just getting crushed with everything you could think of, from what'd you do in high school, what were you doing during college, how'd you get money for this, what's your game plan going forward. So by the end of it, they knew, kind of who I was, what I stood for, what I'd done in the past. And it's for real for them, because there's a lot of due diligence that goes into it. It takes months to close these deals after the fact, after the show ends. So it's, a handshake on the show, and then it's, hey, let's make sure this is actually legit. Let's do our due diligence. And they put a full team on that. So it costs them a lot of money to invest in companies like mine. So they're making sure it's for real. So when they do invest, they also have a team that comes along with it too. So Mark's been doing it now for, I think they're on season 12. It's season 9 for me. So he has Mark Cuban companies built out, and that's a bunch of employees that their job is to help the Shark Tank companies. So I do have an advisor assigned to me. What's really cool about it is I can ask questions at any time, but the big benefit for me is just power in numbers. I'm able to reach out to them at any time, ask them questions. But if they don't have that exact answer, because they're not doing it every day, they like I am, there's someone else in the portfolio that probably is. So I could then connect with another CEO in the portfolio that's in a similar situation as me and say, hey, how do you feel about NCAA licensing? What's your best practice there? Should we get into the space? Should we use a distributor partner? That was a call I had this week.
Wow.
with one of the other companies in the Cuban portfolio. And I've done that from day one with, stuff from Facebook ads, SMS, email providers, really everything you could think of to run a business. There's someone in the portfolio that's probably really good at it that you can reach out to and get an unbiased opinion. So that's been a huge help for us, as well as the connections that they bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. I mean, obviously you guys did all the work to make Ice Shaker what it was. So to even get right the eye, to catch the eye of a shark, especially like Cuban, that's really big. So what's next for Ice Shaker? Where are you guys going?
We got a great game plan. Yeah, we got a nice 5-year plan going right now. Yeah. Is where we're at right now. I didn't do game plans at first. I didn't budget. I didn't plan. I still, to this day, when people ask me what took you to the next level, that's what takes you to the next level, is having a budget and a forecast. It took me about 4 years to finally realize that. My dad's been in business for 32 years. He probably told me that 100 times before I actually put a budget and forecast in place. So now that I did, we have a great path. We're doing well. We have a great team. We're actually going into 900 or 1,900 Walmarts this month. Wow. We're national with GNC, Lifetime Fitness, Vitamin Shop. And I feel like we're just getting started. We're finally to the point where, we have a full retail catalog, and we're already preparing for our winter edition, where it was never like that before. It was always like, hey, here's our catalog today, and I don't know what's coming tomorrow. So we're in a great spot now. Once you kind of figure it out, then you realize how to run a business the right way. You get that culture, you get that team vibe going, things just really start to skyrocket. And it took me about 4 years to really learn how to do it the right way.
Well, it's good advice. So, I mean, if you think about like the amount of entrepreneurs out there, right? They're just kind of running on the edge of their seat, like, oh, we're successful now, but they're not really thinking ahead of time. I think that's really big advice and notable advice. What would you say too, like being in football? I mean, I was an athlete. I played the women's U.S. national team before we went into the Olympics, all through college. And I was a runner, and I learned so much from being an athlete. Like, what do you think is probably some of the best lessons that you brought from NFL or from football and being an athlete into running a business and being an entrepreneur now?
Yeah, I learned a lot that I didn't necessarily apply at first, which makes me kind of mad. I was so competitive leaving sports, and it was, to me, the mindset was I could do anything on my own, which definitely wasn't the right mindset, because as an athlete, especially in football, what you learn is how to win together as a team. And so I always tell people it's like the easiest thing that I should have saw right from day one that I didn't. But that teamwork, building a team, working as a team, the structure of an NFL organization is exactly what your business should look like as well. And I sat there in it for all these years, and then it took me 4 years to bring that into my own business, which is crazy to me. But I was still acting as the player. Yeah. Even though I was trying to, and I should have been the coach at the end of the day. And, we kind of restructured everything. I am now the coach. We have assistant coaches, we have players, everyone knows their roles. Everyone knows how to win at this point as well. And that's really the greatest thing that I learned. It just took me way too long to actually implement it. But now it feels like a locker room. I walk into work now, and it's like, heck yeah, like let's do this as a team. I want to be there. Everyone wants to be there. Everyone's on the same page, and everyone's trying to win. So that's definitely the greatest thing that I've pulled from all my experience with sports.
Yeah, I love that. It's so good, because I think so many, and you said this, so many owners or creators, inventors, they think they got to do it their own, and they're telling everyone what to do instead of like creating the game plan and letting everyone execute it their best way. I mean, this is why we've got, epic athletes in the positions they're in, because they have to be able to execute their best way. And I think that's a really, I do the same. Like I bring the same into my company's 90% women run. So we've got about 52 employees, and most of them are women, which is, a new navigation for me. But when you run it like allowing everyone wants to win for the company, it's like everyone just plays the game, like we're just playing the game. So yeah, I really, I love that concept. So last question before I go, because I now that I'm in the US, I've been in Bali, we kind of were locked in for a couple of years. We're finally in the US. I've got to go find myself an ice shaker. I haven't seen one. I need to go like touch it and, get one. So I'll make sure I do pictures and show everyone what it looks like. But you have 3 boys, right?
3 boys and a girl on the way.
All right, congratulations. So how are you now? Like, how do you bring this into your parenting with your boys? How do you bring your entrepreneurialism and like, what's some good lessons you give the boys?
Yeah, the oldest is 5 right now, so little tough right now to really show them the lessons. But I'm super excited for them to get a little bit older and to start working with them. But just going back and looking at my childhood and what my parents did was they really made us earn everything we had. Like nothing was ever handed to us. At first, my parents couldn't give us anything because they didn't have money. But as they got successful and could, it was still the same thing. Hey, if you want a car, awesome. You're going to work. You're going to be an umpire. I worked for my dad when I was 15, delivering fitness equipment. You're going to find a way to get it. If you want to go to college, awesome. Same thing. You either get a scholarship or you pay for it, or you'll get a loan. That's how you do it. So I think that's a great way to raise your kids. And I think it's a hard way too, as well, because now that I have everything and I can give my kids everything I want to, I know what it would do to them if I did. So it's a challenge to say no, but you have to say no. And that's definitely my feedback with kids is just, make sure that they earn everything they have. You can't just hand it to them. You have to really show them that structure and how to work hard for everything that you have.
Yeah, that's big because you're right. A lot of us, I grew up with not very much. And, when I had my daughter, I wanted to give her everything. And then we lost everything. So she was a year old. We lost everything in San Diego, 08, 07, 08, real estate bubble. But it was the best lesson I could have ever had because I realized now the value that the money that you have doesn't make you the parent, right? It's who you truly are for the world, for your kids. And the example, the money just allows you to have certain things, but to teach them what it takes to get it. And it's transformed the whole way that we've raised our daughter as well. So I always look at, those good and bad lessons. Chris, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a super busy guy. I absolutely love this conversation. I'm super excited to share more about the ice shaker, get myself one, and take it back to Bali, Indonesia. I mean, you never know, you might have a new market out.
I think we do sell there, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Send me the logo too. We'll do a customized bottle for you and
awesome.
Use it on all your shows going forward.
Yeah, we'll do. Of course. Thanks so much, my man. Have a great one. And look forward to seeing you in the future.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Take care.
Bye-bye.